So yeah, I did it. I never thought I would buy this thing. But after stumbling upon an extremely good deal, it was literally 50% off, I thought I would buy it and resell it for profit. But after it arrived, I started thinking about the way I work and how I can improve my productivity. And the reason that actually made me not want to buy it in the first place became the reason I want to keep it now. So what was that reason? Well, before we talk about that, let me first explain my thought process. Trust me, this is essential to understand my point. Currently, there are 3 pillars that define the work I do. My actual job that makes me money, uni, and then YouTube. All 3 require some tools, and in each of them, the freedom I have to choose these tools differs massively. Let's start with my work. Here, the degree of freedom is extremely limited, and understandably so. I work on my company's laptop, which is severely underpowered and a huge hassle to work on, but there is literally nothing I can do about it. On the other hand, the software that we use is really top-notch. Being an individual, you would never be able to afford any of the software that we use. So, as in almost any large company, the level of freedom you have is very limited, and this is balanced by the fact that the work that you do is within a very well-defined package, which was defined by someone and was created to streamline the processes that you do to be able to then employ thousands of people that will be able to make the company money with the tools that you give them. So this works well for the companies, but for the employees, they can sort of feel like they're a machine inside of a process that is supposed to do what it's supposed to do and not really, go out and have its own freedom. But, that's just work. Then we go to uni, where the choice of tools is completely up to you, but there are some tasks that you need to fulfill, and this makes the tools that you can choose little limited. To achieve productivity, I use my Framework 13 with Ubuntu to do basically everything school related. Studying computer science, Linux is sometimes required for some exercises that we do, and Ubuntu strikes this great balance between, being like a Linux distro, but also being pretty user-friendly, so I can also use it as my daily without any issues. And to be honest, because I've only written and compiled code on Unix-based operating systems like macOS and some of the Linux distros, it is almost impossible for me to write code on Microsoft Windows without pulling my hair out. I really hate it. I just don't know how to run code on it, and I find it extremely unintuitive. But that's a topic for a different video. The last pillar that I invest a significant amount of time into is this, my YouTube channel. And anyone who has tried to make videos like this knows it's pretty time consuming. From coming up with ideas to writing scripts to recording and then editing, it takes a lot of time. But I absolutely love it because it's by far the most creative and free activity that I do, and it is my passion. But because of this huge freedom you have, the choice of tools is completely up to you. The camera, the mic, the editing software, the computers you use, everything is up to you. This is the polar opposite of a normal job. There isn't this well-defined package of tools and processes that would sort of give you this baseline productivity, and this can lead to bad quality and wasting a lot of time doing things that you don't understand. I personally have struggled the most with script writing. And yes, I have a script for basically every single one of my videos. Some of them were unscripted, but most of them are scripted. So if it seems like I'm freestyling, I'm not. If it seems that way, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I would say it might be a good thing if it seems like I'm freestyling. If it feels more natural, but I'm not. I have my iPad here and I'm literally reading everything I'm saying off of my iPad. But coming back to the actual writing of the scripts, I have a lot of ideas, a lot of thoughts how to write it, but when it comes to the actual writing, I have great troubles doing it. And because I don't enjoy it, because I struggle with it, I tend to drift towards other activities, like watching YouTube or playing games and so on. And what supports this distraction is the fact that my workflow on my Ubuntu laptop is very effective. What I mean by this is that I have 3 desktops, a lot of shortcuts. I just, go between all of the desktops, have a lot of applications opened at all times, and it's very effective, but also very distracting. And this is where the Magic Keyboard comes in. I actually didn't want to buy it and use it because of iPadOS. I just hate how it's marketed by Apple as being this full PC replacement when it's not. But I used its biggest flaw, or at least what I perceived as its biggest flaw, to my advantage. Like people buying older and slower ThinkPads to do schoolwork, to really focus on things that really matter, the Magic Keyboard turns my iPad into a typewriter. And even though you can still watch YouTube and do a lot of things, the barrier is much higher than on my Ubuntu laptop. I challenge you to also look at your workflow and really think about how it can be improved. Sure, buying new gear can be expensive, but if you think about the time that can be saved with this gear, it might pay for itself faster than you think. I think it's a human thing to not value your time and to value money and just say, I'll just put up with it. But if you really value your time, this trade-off doesn't make sense in a lot of scenarios. So yeah, this is my new experimental daily driver for non-school work. I call it useless enough to keep me focused. And I really, really like it. I like its size. It's a little smaller. And what I'm surprised about is that it works really well on my lap. I thought that it would tend to tip over because, the center of gravity is like at the top, because the iPad is like probably a little bit heavier than the keyboard itself. But no, it really works well. But what do you think about the Magic Keyboard? Would you ever consider buying this combination, or maybe an older laptop? Or are you just disciplined enough to do everything you need to do on your normal laptop? Let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear about it. But that will be it for this video. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.